So I have a Hayward Colorlogic 4.0 that died after about 6 years of use. A number of components are burned on the board, so 6 years represents about 20,000 hours, which is well under the 50,000 hour expected life. But that's been my experience with light bulbs in the house as well. LED lights typically last well under the 50,000 hour rated lifetime. So I think they're a little optimistic on their ratings. Anyway, I plan to rebuild this completely differently because you cannot find schematic diagrams for the circuits. Probably because they don't want it reverse engineered and stolen, the design. But Hayward does not sell any replacement parts for this light. So rebuilding it or repairing it is virtually impossible. The semiconductor components on the board are specially marked, so you can't even determine what they are. So I'm going to take a little bit different route. Completely going to disassemble this thing. This board is stuck down with double-sided tape, so you have to work your way under it, and you can get it off. There's the tape. There's the back side of the board. This is going to go in the trash. It's toast. Get rid of this off the power cord. Now the only thing I'm going to need to do is depot up here where the power lines come in. And what I plan to do is rebuild this with a Govee 16 foot LED light strip that is Wi-Fi enabled. It has, I think, 64,000 different color combinations available, including some themes and things where you can do multiple color combinations. So this light will end up actually probably being brighter, have more capability than the original Hayward, and it is Wi-Fi controllable, so I'll be able to control it with my smartphone with the Govee app. And you can also control intensity of the LEDs, so you can bring them down to very low intensity or very bright, and we'll see how it works out. Yeah, I think it's going to work, but I haven't done this yet, so stay tuned for more information. That's all for now. All right, so I got this thing all cleaned up, got the potting compound removed. These are the lights that I plan to use. This Govee RGB light strip, it's available on Amazon for I think about 27 bucks. And this extension wire will run from the lights up to this. This is the Wi-Fi receiver, and it's also a manual control for changing colors and on and off and changing modes. But you can also do that via Wi-Fi. And then this is the power supply. This will be in my my junction box, my ground junction box, where I'll pick up power. So I won't have any power. This won't be down in the pool unit. This total unit will just be sealed, watertight, but it'll only have the LED light strip in it. Everything will be powered from above. And you've only got, I think it's 5 volts coming down in here anyway. If it leaks, the worst case, you lose the light strip and have to replace that. But I'm making it easy to replace. Everything is plug in. So I had to split this wire. This is available on Amazon also. It's a 2-pack of 5-meter extension cords with this four prong specifically for these light strips. But this plug was too big to go through the hole down here, which I'm going to repot. So I had to split this wire up here. There's 4 little wires inside. They're color coded, so you just got to rejoin them. And you just use lots of heat shrink on them, just to give them some mechanical support as well. But I recommend you solder those wires back together, which is what I did. I cut this up near the junction box, up at the far end of this wire, so this will not be underwater. It'll be nowhere near water, so avoid an issue with any corrosion or anything. So I'm going to continue on. There'll be more to come later. You can see I cleaned this up. I cut these 2 screws off. They're no longer needed. This one was used for ground, and this one was used anchoring the PC board. I left this one because there's a clear plastic cover that comes down over the LEDs, and I want to maintain that. So the LEDs strips will have to run around here inside of this circle. So I haven't decided yet exactly how I'm going to put them in to get the highest density, be able to use most of the lights on the strip. I'll experiment with that more later. All right, so I'm waiting for my potting compound to arrive. I can't really proceed with the light itself until I get that. So I'm trying to do what I can to get ready for that. And this is the junction box, which routes power to the light and then over to the pool equipment. Comes in from the breaker box, and then the pool light is a center conduit down there, and then the other one goes out to the pool equipment. This is pretty standard. They're all about the same size. And my intention is to, well, I need to add the power for the LED light strip, which is just a little plug-in transformer, and the Wi-Fi transceiver. And you can see that this thing, there's not a lot of room in here, so they're not going to fit in there. So, and what that pink line is, by the way, is just, I've run line down when I pulled the wires out for the existing light. I left these nylon strings in there so I can pull the new wire through, just hooking up to the string. So that's what those are. Anyway, so I don't really have room in here to do what I want to do. So what I'm going to do, and I'll have more on this as I get into it, I bought this waterproof box. I'm going to mount it right to the side of the existing box, and I'll show you how I do that as I get this thing done. This will give me the room inside this box to put a little 2-outlet power strip to power the transformer, and the provide power to the lights, 12 volt down to the LED strip, and the transceiver module. So they'll both fit into here, and I'll attach that onto here, and I'll show you how I do that as I get more into it. Okay, my next step was just to use some standard 3/4 inch electrical conduit connectors, PVC conduit connectors. I installed 2 vias through here so I can run my electrical from the junction box to power the LED light transformer. I actually only need one of these. So there's only one set of wires going to have to pass through, but I wanted the mechanical support, so I put double. And see if I can do this one-handed. So it's probably pretty obvious. This is just going to go into here like this, 3/4 inch conduit, and that will plug. Oh, not very good one-handed. And that will plug right into there. Pardon my poor videography here while I push this in. And so I'm going to end up with this. So it's mechanically pretty structurally sound. So I've got my pass-through for my electrical from one side to the other. So that's that. I'll put my little power strip in here. My Wi-Fi transceiver will go in here. There'll be a lot of extra room, but better too much, in my opinion, than not enough. And the only thing that'll wire through here is just 2 wires for the hot and common for the power strip, and a ground if the power strip has a ground, to power the transformer, which will plug in here. I'll show that when I get that built up. All right, so here is the backing plate all potted up. Brought my power cord in through the bottom. Potting materials underneath there, but what I did is I laid out the LED light strip here and folded it over on itself. As you can see, it starts up here on the outer ring, comes around here, and I folded it so that I could double the light density and hopefully get the whole 16-foot strip in here, and just went around in concentrically reducing circles, and went over the wires, the power wire here, and left the screw for the center lens available. It turned out that I only got about 14 feet of it in here, but The Govee lights are very convenient. They've got cut points here. See if I can find that and get it in focus here. There's cut points here where there's you can cut right through where those gold fingers are. Just cut right there on that line, and the lights still function. But by doubling these over, I increased the light density quite a bit. I was able to get a lot of LEDs in here, so you can see a lot of LEDs in there. Not perfectly uniform, but did the best I could. Yours will probably be better, but kind of learning as I go here. So next I'll put the clear lens on and then start reassembling the whole unit back together, and hopefully it'll be watertight. Tried to revive the rubber gasket using mineral oil and Vaseline, which I read on the internet, and that seemed to help it quite a bit. So hopefully this thing will still be waterproof. More to come. Okay, there it is with the plastic shield installed. Plastic cover installed. So I just have the lights set for blue. You can set them for whatever color you like. There's red, green. Okay, here I've got the back ready to cinch down the screws tight. So now I'm ready to pull the pool light wire through the conduit. I'm going to use this nylon string that I tied onto the old wire and pulled through the conduit to begin with. So it should be a simple matter of just tying this off onto the wire and then pulling it back through. So I go to the other end of the nylon wire coming up here in the junction box, and I will start to pull. And if I feel any resistance at all, I'm going to back up. A little bit of resistance there. I may have to get down into the pool to line this up with the conduit down there. So I will do that and then try it again. Okay, I got the wire lined up with the conduit. I think I can pull this through now. So, any luck? I keep pulling this. Hard to do this without somebody to run the camera, so pardon my poor videography. Oh, it's hanging up here, so I'm going to pull it from the other end. Okay, see if that frees it up. Come on now. No, not yet. Okay, so here's my my junction box, and with the extra box mounted to it with the two feed throughs. And what you got inside here is take this cover off. I put in a little two position power strip, and this is wired into the junction box, into here, picks up power from the pool light circuit. So you got a hot, you got a common, you got a ground. And this is a grounded power strip. Here is the wire from the light, the new light assembly, the Govee lights that I pulled up through the conduit from the pool. So it's coming up into the junction box, and it comes through one of these pass-throughs. It's coming into here. So we're actually almost done now. Put that over there out of the way. So what plugs into this power strip is the Govee power supply, and this is just a step-down transformer and rectifier. So it takes 110 volt AC and takes it down to 12 volt DC. I may have said 5 volts earlier, and that was incorrect. It's actually a 12 volt power strip, but it's 12 volt DC. So the only power down in your pool light now is 12 volt DC. So it's very safe. If you ever had a leak or a short or anything down there, it's not going to be lethal any longer. You don't have 110 down there at that light. The last component that goes in this box is this. This is the GoV Wi-Fi receiver. Also a manual control. You can turn on and off. You can program the lights through this. But this is, I'm only using this for the Wi-Fi receiver. So I want to be able to control this with the GoV app on my phone. So just to plug things in, the power supply plugs into here, and the GoV light strip plugs into here, and that is that. And this extension cord for the that you can buy on Amazon doesn't quite fit in here, so I'm going to tape those together just to be sure it doesn't come loose. And then the last thing to do is just to tuck all this up in here into this box. Get my camera with my third hand here. Get my camera aimed at the box and tuck this stuff up in here. Doesn't have to be real neat, just has to be in and waterproof. And I'm going to put the Wi-Fi transceiver up on top, hopefully to get the best reception from my house. And then I'll just tighten these down later. That's how the whole thing goes together. So the light will now function. I will wait until after dark to demo that. But I will comment that with the GoV app, you can control color, you can control light intensity or brightness, and you can control the themes. So I mentioned earlier you can do color themes, red, white, and blue for 4th of July if you like, or whatever. You can create your own too, just a myriad of colors. And you can also control when the light turns on and off. You can set a schedule. Really, really easy to use and really very well done app. I use GoV lights for accent lights inside my home and have had zero problems with them. They're really nice lights. The last thing I'll comment on this is the way this is constructed now is if your light strip ever fails, you just pull the light out of the pool and put in a new light strip. $25 and you're back on the air. So if the power supply goes bad, you can buy one of those. So everything's easy to get to. No longer have to worry about your $1,000 Hayward light going bad. So I hope this is helpful. All right, so here's the pool light installed. Please excuse the leaves in my pool. We had a little bit of wind today and I haven't had a chance to clean it. But here it is installed, and I'm going to show you some of the different color options using the GoV app. As well as some of the theme options. Anyway, you get the idea. You can program some of these yourself too. You can program like red, white, and blue for the 4th of July, or green and red for Christmas. Whatever. You got lots of options. The last thing I'll try to demonstrate is the light intensity. You can control intensity with this within a given color. Okay, so here's what the GoV app looks like. It's it right there. And when you open the app, you'll see I've got the pool light up here, and then it connects, and you can see I've got brightness. I've got all kinds of different color controls down here. Down here at the bottom, you got different colors. You can change the colors down here. You can also go to I've got custom colors I put in here. You can go to the color wheel right here, and you can select all kinds of colors from the color wheel. I'm not going to mess with that right now. Oops, I'm changing the color unintentionally because I can't see what I'm doing here. There's a different color wheel. And let me come back to here. So what I want to show you is the brightness control, which is right up here. It's just a slide bar. So I'm going to slide, I've got it 80% right now. I'm going to slide it up and down, and you'll see the impact it has on the pool light. So here's my pool light. I'm at 80%. Slide down. I'll slide down all the way to 10%. It doesn't do anything until I release my finger. There's 10%. So just what you probably expect. There's 42%. It changes in increments of 1%. So you got lots of control. Coming back down here, if I select my blue, my deep blue, there's what you see. I'll change to magenta while I stay on the pool. Here's the magenta. There's a kind of a light green. There's a darker green. Red, which I've already shown you. I guess it's red. Doesn't look real red. Here's a purple. Lots and lots of options. So anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. The last thing I wanted to show you. All right, so one last thing I ended up having to do for my rebuild was, because I live in a very hot climate, Phoenix area, I was worried that the Wi-Fi receiver may overheat. It's not really designed for an exterior application. So what I did is I built a aluminum, well, I guess it's either aluminum or galvanized steel. Anyway, I built a little sun shield over this thing, and on the side that is facing the house, I bored holes in it just because I wanted to not interfere with the Wi-Fi signal. I'm transmitting about 50 feet to my house, 50, 60 feet, and it works fine. So if you live in a hot climate, you might want to consider something like this. I just attached it to the existing junction box here with a couple of screws, self-tapping screws. And because the thing is kind of cantilevered, hanging out there on the side, I put a brace down here on the bottom too. And I just, at the moment, I've only got it zip tied down to the conduit, but I want to put a hose clamp on there just to anchor the thing. It made it much more solid. So just to give you that tip, in case you live in a hot climate, you might want to consider doing something similar. So far, I've had no problems at all with the functionality of the Wi-Fi. And like I said, I'm transmitting out. I look at it, I'm transmitting probably at least 70 feet without any problem at all.